So this video is going to be very educational and interesting for you guys if you are somewhat in the early stages. If you're making less than $10,000 a month with your OnlyFans management agency, you have to watch through this entire video, because in this video we cover two things with me and Hosni. It's one, how to deal with stress and how to progress very, very quickly. Sometimes you have to just take that leap of faith and pull the trigger and just go forward and do something when you're not 100% certain whether it's going to work out or not. Hosni is a great testament. He's one of the people within our private licensing program. He's learned from me exactly what we do, and he shares his entire story in this video. So hopefully you enjoy and take notes and pay attention. So Hosni, I think for everybody watching, it's always good to start off with giving people a bit of context about yourself and your background. So I'll give you the stage, and if you could give people kind of a 1 to 2 minute context of who you are and how did you get into OFM.
Yeah, sure. So pleasure being here with you, Marcus. My name is Hosni. I'm based in Dubai, but like you can hear from my accent, I come from France. It's been 7 years now in Dubai. I work most of the time as a keynote speaker for AI in pharmaceutical and other company. Most of my work is based here in Middle East. And one of the reflection I had was to find a way to work and being able to work from anywhere in the world. I had the opportunity to meet a girl that was doing OF, and I was very curious about it. She was young, she was successful, she was working 6 months in Bali, 6 months in Dubai, and this put me some reflection. And then I have a friend in France that shared with me some video, and there was one video of yours, and this is how I started to get curious, jump in, and I say, okay, like we say in Dubai, yalla, let's try it and see how it goes. And this is how I started it, end of March.
End of March. Okay. So really not that long ago at all. At the time of this recording,
No,
it's the
not that long.
22nd of May. So yeah. Okay. Okay, awesome. So that's kind of how you found out about it. Now, again, just for a bit of context, even for myself as well, so I know, before this, did you have much experience with running online businesses? So maybe e-commerce, a marketing agency? Yeah.
Zero.
Okay.
Zero thing. And this was something that was really helpful for me with the training, is that it's like a recipe. You give all the different things, different steps, and if you follow, and I'm a good student, so I read, I go step by step, I trust the process, and if you do this, you have very, very little chance not to be successful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this is the thing that I was appreciating, and this is what I was looking for as well, to save time, because I know from my business that when you connect with the right person, then you save a lot of time. And I was very happy to find your training and your team.
Okay, well, that kind of already answers like the next question I was going to ask, because people sometimes watch these videos where they are kind of in that stage where they know about us and they know about OnlyFans management, but they haven't yet pulled the trigger and actually committed and joined. And that's what I was going to ask you. But I'm assuming that's going to be your answer, right? Which is what made you actually commit and go, okay, do you know what? All of this makes sense. I like the business model. It all makes sense. Let me go for, and actually invest into the mentorship. Was it more so the fact that, like you just said there, you already understand that you're just saving time. You're going to fast track your success.
So that was my objective, to fast track my success by going to the right training, the right people with the right knowledge, because this is where you get the best advice, the people who really managed it. And you were not the first one. I started not doing the full training, but just listening to video. There was a French guy, then there was a guy in the UK. And it's started to get curious and understand a bit of things that they were doing wrong, something doing right. And then when I listened to you, it was like a group of everything that was needed. And I say, okay, that's the guy, let's try it. And like everything you try, you need to go with a leap of faith.
Yeah.
So I trust my gut and I say, okay, let's do it, let's try. And what is it to lose? Nothing.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that I, like you said, pulled the trigger.
Awesome. Okay. All right. All right. Awesome. So then when you joined, you didn't have any clients at the time, or did you already have one or two models? Zero.
Zero. Yeah, I
Okay.
really started from scratch.
Okay. So, yep. And then just kind of give people a bit of context as to what was your first kind of week, your second week, your first month, within not only the coaching program, but also kind of running, starting an agency.
So the first week, maybe two, maybe 10 days, because I started pretty quickly, was to go through the videos, through the trainings, just to understand what is the big level picture, to understand the question, to join the calls. to listen to questions of the other colleagues, to get a bit more understanding of the background, how it looks like. So that was the first week. And then the best way to learn is to try. And I
Mm.
really wanted to try right from the start. So I started with the outreaching. And also, there was one person from the OFM Discord that proposed me a model. It was a bit expensive at the time, but the model was bringing a bit of money as well. So, like I said, let's try it. What is there to lose? And this was the best decision I made. I worked with this model only for 1 week. However, in this 1 week, because I had to set everything fast to understand, it was like a fast track learning. Get the chatters, find the chatters. If the chatters is not showing off, I have to do the chatting. You do the chatting. Then the customer, the client was very tough. So I learned a lot on the feedback, the things to do, not to do. It was one very stressful week. However, thanks to this week, I learned in accelerated. I was able to integrate everything that I went through with the training and understand the things that you were saying, and then from there to leverage all my learnings. And when I got some smaller client customer that were nicer, it was so much easier,
Easier,
and I
right? Yeah.
was so much confident. And now it's exactly the same. So I go now with bigger customer with more confidence because my team is starting to set up. I start
Yep.
to know what I'm talking about, have more confidence. So this 1 week crash test was an amazing failure.
It's always like that though. But in the moment, it's almost so stressful that you're like, oh my God, why is this happening? Like, I don't want to go through this. It's so stressful. And you feel like this is the end, even though it's just starting out. But it's always like
And
that.
yeah,
It's, yeah.
definitely. And some people are listening. You might think that is it the right thing for me? Why did I do that? I was happy with before the stress. I could sleep at night, but now it's 2 months, and I'm so happy that I pushed through. And this is the getting out of your comfort zone that
Yep.
will help you grow exponentially. So go
Yep.
for it and just expect it. Expect
Yep.
these stressful moments and embrace them.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I think you have an absolutely incredible mindset, Hosni. It's the fact like I'm very, very similar where I like to almost always like have the pressure on myself to perform. And what I mean by that is like I don't have to, put myself out there and I don't have to take on this many clients at the same time, but I still do. And, it's very easy to kind of look at once you've been doing it for quite some time and you're making multiple six figures a month, it's very easy to look at that and be like, I don't have to do anything. I can just chill out. But at least everyone's different, but at least for myself, the main thing that makes me motivated is when I force myself, where I have to. So I might buy something super expensive, or I might spend a load of money where I'm like, now, okay, I have to now do something, right? But yeah, especially in the beginning stages, it's very, 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 very easy. And it's interesting because naturally, all of us as humans, we always are risk reverse, right? So we try to minimize the amount of risk and problems and stress. So we try to do the easy thing. So in business, it would be like, okay, I don't really want to try and take on too many clients, so I'll just watch the course videos. I'll edit my little website, I'll edit my little Instagram page, and I'll send out a couple of messages a day. But that's it. Which is there's no risk. What kind of risk is there when you're building your website, or what kind of risk is there when you're watching some videos on my course, right? So it's easy
Zero.
to do these things, yeah, and you feel comfortable. You're in your comfort zone, exactly what you said, Hosni. But when you do something like you, where it's just like, okay, there's a model, there's a bit of a referral fee. I don't really know what I'm doing that much, but I'm gonna do it, and you learn, and that's the fastest way to learn. So I'm very happy that you said that and how honest you are as well. That's really, really awesome. And then yeah, off
No,
of the
thank
back
you.
of that, like you said yourself, everything else becomes a lot easier because you've been through this one stage where you felt like it was, the end of the world, and everything becomes easier. So you had
Yeah.
this first model, and just kind of talk us through that phase from the first model to then getting your second one to kind of where you are now.
So the first model after 1 week was not working well, and when it was time for her to pay, she didn't want to pay. She was starting to discuss about payment, pay in 2 weeks and stuff like this. And it was for me like a trigger. Okay, this is something I don't want in the long term to work with a person like that, even if she's bringing me a lot of money. And this helped me as well to understand more what I was looking for.
Hmm.
Then when I was reaching out at reaching or asking for some colleagues if they have model and bringing me some high level earners but were rude, I would say, no, fine, I will pass. I was preferring someone who was doing little, however, with a good mindset, that was putting the work and that was easy to communicate. And this is what I brought to myself. Two other models, then a third one right after. So it was another stress to manage three at the same time in different time zone, different language. There was one from Peru, one from the US, one from Montreal. Uh, so it was a different stress. However, I took it really step by step. And after this learning, I realized that if I just go like at the gym, you go day by day, step by step, this is when you will get the muscle done, when you get the confidence. And what I try to do was to remove all the noise. Some days I was doing $0, and I was, oh no. And the day after, oh, 500, nice. And then $20. And then when I start looking by week, the trend was good. And this is what started to me relieve the stress. And now I don't look at the day by day, but I really look at the trend, how it's going for the models, for the chapters, for the discussion. And this is what helps me to bring the long view and
Yeah.
don't get lost on the day-to-day stress that we can have with ups, downs, and things like this.
Yeah.
And since I had three models, then after I had the opportunity to starting with the chatters, so to learn how to manage the chatters, hire the chatters. Then I started connecting with some people from the the FMU group, with
Mhm.
Harry, Archer, another guy that I connected with for Instagram. So I started to reach the people with the knowledge, because like I said, when you reach the right people, you invest more. However, the result is faster and stronger. So this is what I decided to do, to go fast and strong and give it all.
Good. And you're now, if again for a bit of context for people, how many models or clients are you managing right now, and kind of what are you on pace to do this month in terms of earnings?
So ideally, this month I'm aiming for 20. I don't think I will make it. There's still a few days, but I guess I will hit 18, maybe 19. But this will be an amazing mark to reach the 20K for this month. I just started with my model number 5, and the next step for me will be to, because I have one chatter manager for the 3 shift, and will be to have one chatter manager for two, maybe 3 shifts, and to add two new clients that are bigger. So I'm in discussion with two clients that will leave their agency mid of June, for both of them. So now I'm getting the setup ready so that once they onboard, right from the start, I can give them the good proposal, the good service. So this is my next step for the next 30 days. Stabilize the chatters, get ready with my team for Instagram, Reddit, and Twitter. So once the models arrive, we can hit it right from the beginning, give them confidence that they did the right choice, and then onboard them and reach the 40, 50K per month.
Good, good. Well, we're here to help you with that. That's good. And so, by the way, that's since March, right? So from March till
Yeah.
today, so in about 2 months, 2.5 months, you've been able to scale to now 5 clients and on pace to do 19, $18,000 in a month, which is pretty cool. By the way, there's something that you mentioned, which is really, really true. And people don't actually realize this, especially the younger audience, because, to them, they are so like they have Amazon next day delivery, right? And they cannot, they're not patient at all. And I get it. But like one of the easiest analogies and examples of what you mentioned about Hussein, instead of looking at per day, if you look at per week or per month, is go on Google and search the S&P 500. And if you look at in 5 days charts, 5 days it is kind of like this, right? If you zoom out for a week, it will still be a bit like this, but you're starting to see a bit of a gradual increase. A month, it will still be up and down a little bit, but you're definitely starting to see a bit of a gradual increase upwards. If you zoom out 5 years and then you zoom out more and more and more, it is a very, very almost, it seems like a flat line that just slowly goes up. And that's like reality of business and life. Like it is always, always, always like that. Every single business I've ever ran and any person that I've ever spoken to, every day, one day is an amazing day. One day it feels like the world is fucking ending. It's like, you might as well quit this business. It's the worst thing in the world. And then the very next day, you make more money than you, like a record day, right? Literally the next day. But then if you zoom out and you reflect back on the year that you've had, you're like, damn, I started the year off on like 200,000 a month, and we're now ended up at 800,000 a month, at the end of the year. And all of a sudden, when you zoom out, yeah, you get to see the progress. So and the other thing as well, by the way, especially the beginning stages, especially at the beginning stages, it is just like this because
Yeah,
there's nothing to zoom out. You can't zoom out, compare yourself to last year because you just started, right? So when you are starting out, yeah, you are just comparing today compared to yesterday, and then yesterday compared to the day before. And yeah, there definitely is ups and downs because you're working, working, working. You get a client, and you're like, "Whoa, massive up!" 2 days later, she leaves, and you're like, "Oh, massive down." But like, it's just a part of the game. And
exactly.
look at yourself as a perfect example. It's like, well, now you have so much more experience, you have so much more knowledge, and when you're speaking to clients, yeah, you're speaking from experience as opposed to kind of guesswork and kind of the whole imposter syndrome. So yeah,
Yeah.
super interesting. One more thing as well, you mentioned about that you should be reaching around 18, 19,000 for the month, and you don't think, you might not be able to hit 20. Dude, one of the easiest ways to hit an extra two, well, depending on how many clients you have and depending on what they do, but a very easy way to gain an extra $2,000 to $4,000 a month is by doing live streams on OF. I don't know if
Oh, okay.
have your clients done it or not yet?
One of them, yes. The
Okay.
others, no.
Okay, get all of them to do it on the weekend. So get all of them to do it on like the Sunday, and all of a sudden, if each client makes around $500 each during that one night, there you go, you've done it, right?
Amazing. Nice. We'll do
Yeah,
it.
yeah, perfect. And we can talk about it either after this call or on our next group coaching call as well. But cool. Okay, I guess the last question I'd love to ask, just for people still kind of watching, this video, is just in general your feedback on the program. Both the video modules, but also the group coaching calls, the community. How have you found the actual FAMU licensing program?
So if I start with the material, it's perfect to start. You really have everything you need to kick it off. It's very simple, very clear. There is not too much, so that you can really go through it quickly and a clear understanding. Uh, the one thing that brings more value than I thought was the call that we have in the community and the Discord to have some question, to read out the question from others. Sometimes you don't want to speak or you cannot speak. Just listening at others brings some different perspective and brings some ideas. So this brought way more value
Mm,
that I was expecting.
yeah.
And when you are really blocked and you can also ask a question. And one thing as well that bring confidence and when you can answer a question. I was in the Sunday call with the colleagues, and it was nice to see Lucas say, "Hey, does someone wants to answer? Yeah, I can support with you with this and about that." And realize that you can also bring some value from your little level, but you can still bring some
Yeah.
interesting insight. So the material very good to start, very easy to use. The format is good, 1 hour, 40 minutes. It's quick. You can put it 1.5 if you want to go quicker.
Hmm.
And then the text, super nice to have the PDF there. I'm in AI, so what I like to do is to put everything in one tool, Notebook LM, and then if I want to ask a question, just searching everything for me.
Perfect.
And then yeah, to participate in the call. And if you missed one, it's fine. Just go whenever you can, and you will get a lot of interesting input.
Cool. Well, thank you so much for the feedback. And likewise, by the way, I'm in a few other online kind of coaching programs, nothing to do with OFM as such, but more so some are like info product businesses and some are investments and so on. And for me, likewise, the main value that I get is listening in on the group coaching calls that they have. It's super interesting because you hear some other people who are in completely different industries, nothing related to you in any way, shape, or form. And if anything, they're actually a lot further ahead of you. They're maybe perhaps making a lot more
Mm.
money or have a different company structure and so on. And it's very interesting to hear the questions that they are asking because one, it's creative and it gets you thinking forward, but it also can fix future problems from ever even becoming
Yes.
problems. Yeah, which is really, really useful. So anyway, thank you so much for all of that feedback. Thank you for your time on the call
Thank
as
you.
well. I'm glad to have you as a part of the community. So I look forward to doing a part two of this in a couple of months' time when you're way past 100,000 a month. I really, really know you're going to be there very
Yep.
soon.
Very happy to do it with you, Marcus. Thank you for your energy, the work you put into it. and the opportunity you gave us all. So yeah, much appreciated.
Awesome. Thank you.